The new ninja was a concept that was introduced within Crystallize. The idea that there could be a rival group of ninja that compete essentially at being the heroes of the city, I think is a genuinely fascinating idea. And even though it was extremely short-lived, I am actually happy with what we got regardless. What's interesting is that we actually know very little about the new ninja. We knew what we needed to know and that was basically it, to the point where we don't even know their own names. But the thing is that this is a concept that was very quickly dropped within Ninjago and was exclusive to that season in of itself. But when you look back at it in retrospect, you realize that the new ninja could have served a very interesting place when it does come to Ninjago's story. But it never came to be, and we kind of know why that is the case, but also not. So what I'm going to do today is talk you through the new ninja, talk about what we do know, talk about what they got up to, and talk about the potential that they could have had when it did come to Dragon's Rising specifically. Go through what could have been, because I do think there is a severe amount of wasted potential here. But let me not waste any more of your time, and let's talk about the wasted potential of the new ninja. Now, if you don't remember who the new ninja are, or if you didn't watch that season of Ninjago, it goes as such. The new ninja were a group of vigilantes fighting crime within Ninjago City. When the ninja went their separate ways following the Great Flood, the team became inactive, which led to the new ninja being the replacement and actually having verification and a lot of validation from the city itself as of the belief that they actually were doing better than the old ones. And I do think that is genuinely a really cool concept. I like the idea that they would have had a void to be filled when the ninja didn't want to be actually a part of the active community within their own realm. The new ninja, by all account, makes sense, and I just think that's really cool. But like I said in the intro, we really didn't learn all that much about the new ninja. For example, like I said, we don't even know their own names. They are literally just referred to as their own respective colours. The teal ninja, the fuchsia ninja, the orange ninja, the pink ninja, and the yellow ninja. This is quite literally it. We don't know anything about their own unique identities. They don't even take off their masks, which I think was the first problem and the first bit of wasted potential in of itself. They should have humanized these new ninja. The thing is that they come across as just complete adversaries when it does come to Crystallize itself, and by all accounts that is what they wanted to do. But I do think they should have demonstrated the fact that they weren't trying to be antagonistic. They were just, by all accounts, doing their own job. They were just doing what they were told to do, and that makes sense in the grand scheme of things. It makes sense that they would just go about doing what they had to do because that's how it works. And again, like I said, that shows how they just really didn't do what they needed to do with them. But honestly, if you were to ask me, that bit of wasted potential is nothing in comparison to the two other pieces that are wasted as well, in my opinion, because both of them really do demonstrate a whole lot worse. So, the first, or second more like, instance of wasted potential is actually what happens following their initial introduction. Like I said, imagine if they actually fully introduced these new ninja and fully humanized them as well. It would have been really cool. But if they didn't have the chance to do that, I think the other best way to have gone about it would have been to actually have them have some form of part when it does come to the overall finale of Crystallize. Think, when we actually do get to see them past the point of the ninja getting arrested, we see them briefly turn up in Ninjago City and get turned into the crystal zombies, and that is basically it. I think this is where they should have done more again. This should have been where we got to see them actually helping the people of Ninjago, trying to do their best even in the face of a dire situation. Show them actually rescuing people, saving people. Show why these new ninja are as beloved as they are. Demonstrate to us, the viewers, that these new ninja aren't just something to be in the ninja's way. And again, they just simply choose not to and write them completely out of the plot. Because beyond then a very slight cameo at the very end of Crystallize where they're helping rebuild the monastery, that was it. That was it in terms of the new ninja. They turned up, they antagonized the ninja a bit, beat them a bit, and that was kind of it. Really does just feel wasted here. But honestly, I could forgive this, and I could have actually given them some form of more credit if it wasn't going to be what we then learn later down the line from the writers themselves. Because in comes Dragons Rising, a show which has actually done a lot of repairing when it does come to Crystallize, the main example being Kai. But the thing is that they could have had an opportunity to actually talk about the new ninja when it does come to Dragons Rising. Now remember, as of the show's timeline, there is a few years between the merge and the ninja actually returning to Ninjago City and becoming known once more. During this time, we have no idea how things actually were managed. We have no idea who was defending the city, who was taking care of the city, who was doing absolutely anything to help the citizens. You could assume that it was going to be the new ninja and that was going to be their new role, taking on low-level crime here and where they can and doing their best to actually help the people. Instead, it was confirmed that they went back to their normal jobs. Yeah, it was confirmed that after the event of Crystallize, the new ninja hung up their hoods and literally did nothing more, which in my opinion is the biggest case of missed and wasted potential when it does come to these characters. Instead of establishing that they are helping where they can, they're in Ninjago City doing what they can do. Remember, the ninja during Dragons Rising are barely actually in Ninjago City. We see it briefly in a few scenes, but that is about it. Why not establish that these new ninja are running around doing what they can? In the ninja's absence, they would go around defending the people, and when the ninja even are back, they're taking on lower level crimes around the realms in an attempt to actually do what's right. Why not establish that they are truly up to something that is good? Why just establish that they gave up? Why establish that they just decided to just leave? This just feels like a complete throwout. This feels like something that honestly feels like they just didn't want to bother with these characters anymore, which is just so disappointing. Why is it that these characters couldn't have gone out and actually done something for themselves? Not become adversaries, but actually become some form of ally to the ninja? Why not have them actually do good within the world? Why just push them to the side and push them back into some 9 till 5 in Ninjago City when they could have actually been doing something more? Of course, it would be a case of telling and not showing, but I don't think that would have been a bad thing. Even a throwaway line to show that they're still around and they're doing good honestly would have been enough for me, and would have made them not feel so wasted, because they would have fit in perfectly with the Dragons Rising era. They would have fit in perfectly as the defenders of Ninjago when the ninja weren't round. But again, they just chose not to. What a waste. I do just think when it comes down to it, this is just a simple case of the writers getting rid of the things that didn't work in Crystallized, going out of their way to just get rid of the bad and just repair anything that they can when it does come to the season because of the negative reception. Dragons Rising has done a good job on fixing a lot of the problems that Crystallized established, and I'm happy for that, but fixing the problem is not just getting rid of the character entirely. Fixing the problem would be showing that they are doing good and are doing something productive within the merged lands. But no, nothing, no names, no role, no responsibility, no effort, wasted potential. But I would love to know, are you sad that the new ninja are gone? Would you like to see them return one day? Do you wish they had a role in Dragons Rising? Do you wish they actually had at least some sort of mention in the grand scheme of things? I would love to know what you think, because honestly, I'm just kind of sad that we didn't get to actually see them. I think it could have been a perfect opportunity just to establish more and make the world feel more alive, but they didn't. And I don't think it's the end-all be-all and the complete icebreaker and the last straw when it does come to the show, but it is just disappointing. As much as I love Ninjago, these things do find to be quite annoying. But yeah, that's why I would like to know what you think. But thank you very much for watching the video, and I do hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please consider subscribing. I love discussing Ninjago with more people. And if you do want to support the channel any further, which you do not have to, you could always become a channel member and join the legends that you see on screen. Each of your support means the absolute world to me, and I truly cannot thank you enough. But like I said, that's about it for today, and take care. Okay, bye!